Hello and welcome to MtM Vegas. Some casinos are already back at 100% capacity. What does that mean for crowds this summer? What kind of comp offers are we seeing and other discounts? We'll discuss all of that. Plus, the Palms sold. Find out who bought them and what they're going to do with it. Caesars plans to shutter the William Hill Sportsbook name. And we have pop-up bars all over the city. A new tiki pop-up bar you don't want to miss. Plus, the Golden Knights have a bar of their own. All of that coming up right now. If you like the show and the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Smash the thumbs up button, and most importantly, leave a comment. We love to discuss all of this stuff with you. Thanks so much for watching. Let's hit it. So Mark, big sale this week. Vegas moving on. We got tons to talk about with 100% capacity and all kinds of cool stuff. But the big story of the week is the Palms is finally sold, and it wasn't to Hard Rock like I had predicted. Although it is to a Native American tribe. $650 million. Station Casinos took a big bath on this one.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's the biggest news. On the radio station here, somebody said a person in Vegas was building a pool, and while the pool guys were digging, the cops ended up coming to the house because they found some bones.
Yeah, I mean...
So the cops show up and they're like, hey, trying to see if this is human bones. What's going on out here? They found them like 5 feet deep, but I guess they were prehistoric, like 5,000-year-old animal bones. So that's pretty unique. I don't know if you had heard that story or not.
They weren't remnants from the mob days, huh? Because that's generally what people find out when they're digging pools in the desert.
But yeah, they're still looking for Jimmy Hoffa, right? Well, that's around here, though.
It's true, though, as we've had urban sprawl and the city has grown over the years, the areas where they used to take people out in the desert are now homes. And so they do find these things occasionally. But I hadn't heard about the animal. That's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to get anything, because I don't know if you've ever watched that show. There's like Dinosaur Hunter show where people will like go through Wyoming and try to find dinosaur bones. And if you find like a T-Rex head or a body, it's worth like $1 million and stuff. So potentially this could be worth some money, depending on what kind of animal it is, I guess. But I don't know if they know that and who's going to come dig it out, but it'll be interesting to see what they end up uncovering, if they get the whole animal all pieced together, if it's just like a couple bones scattered. So interesting stuff for sure.
So people actually hunt down these bones. It seems like it would be a very needle in a haystack kind of scenario.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of the show. I don't know how they find it. Like, they do this for a living, and they go on people's land and, work out deals with them that if they find stuff, and even just finding like a couple pieces of bones is worth a couple $100 and stuff, and they'll walk around poking around. I don't know. It's a thing, though. I didn't know it was a thing, but it is.
All right, well, let's talk about Palms now. So they sold for $650 million. Station Casinos, or Red Rock Resorts, who's the parent company, bought the property for $321.5 million a few years ago, spent $690 million to renovate it. So they're in over $1 billion, selling it for $650 million. They're taking a big hit on it. I've suspected that it's been closed all this time due to tax write-offs, and so we don't know what sort of benefit they got from writing off the loss. But it's a big loss, and a property that is now fully renovated, beautiful, ready to go. Doesn't seem like San Manuel has to do too much to it.
Yeah, hopefully they don't pull the the Virgin Hotels and reimagine the wheel when they took over the Hard Rock. With how much money they just recently spent a couple years ago, you would think that this is just hey, let's open it up, maybe clean up some things and open the doors and get rolling. It's a heck of a deal for them, for comparing how much it was spent on the property versus what they bought it for. And then you look at other hotels that have sold, other casinos that have sold recently. This is a lower end. I know it's not on the Strip, so that is a discount, but it's still a premier property in Vegas, and one that people have been waiting to open. So I don't know how long it'll take them to get it rolling, but I would think it'd be a quick turnaround once the sale's finalized and everything. But we'll be looking forward to it opening again. I think that Station still has a couple, like 3 other casinos they're keeping closed, which seems bizarre at this point.
Yeah, they still have the Fiestas and the Texas, which are closed. Those are more local casinos, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The rumors are they're trying to sell them, but we don't know. And yeah, with the Palms, I don't really know if it's going to stay closed. They said that they expect the deal to finalize by the end of the year. They obviously need to get their gaming license, and so there is a process with that. So I expect, I guess, that it's going to stay closed until they get that done. They run a big casino in California, not far from LA. that I've driven by many times, and it's in the process of being expanded, like a $500 million expansion. They've brought on a lot of their CEO, I think, comes from Venetian. They brought on a lot of gaming insiders. So even though they are a tribal company, I mean, this really is a gaming company, and we're seeing that huge crossover. Mohegan Sun, we're seeing the Seminole tribe with Hard Rock, expand everywhere. These Native American gaming companies are serious, and they are coming to play in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and they're also operating Virgin, which we've talked about in the past, how Virgin is, like 8 different heads trying to run that facility, but Mohegan Sun is running the gaming aspect, which I think the casino is one of the few things that's run well there, at least when Rick joined us to talk about it. So hopefully, they don't try to retheme it in 8 different ways when they open up the Palms. If they keep it the same, they already have the history of running gaming, so I think that will go smoothly. It'll be interesting to see when it's all said and done, but hopefully they don't mess with it too much.
Yeah, I don't expect that they will, and they have a great customer base in Southern California, so that should help them out. I do expect the name of the Palms to stay. It's sort of iconic to that property. I don't get the point of trying to rebrand it at this point, but we will see. They haven't really announced too much about it, but it's good to see progress. We know at least that the Palms is going to reopen, and I guess we have some sort of a timeline for that happening, but very excited. Still waiting for that Hard Rock news. Seminole Tribe, what they're going to buy. I'm sure we'll find out.
Back
soon.
to Planet Hollywood as the number one guess.
All right. Well, we'll bring you guys more news as it comes in regards to the Palms, but I'm very excited about this sale. And also exciting is 100% capacity. Wynn and Encore were the first casinos to have their vaccination rate of their employees at 80% or more. So they got approval this week to go to 100% capacity. Cosmopolitan did as well. We saw pictures on Twitter of plexiglass being removed, of chairs being added back. I mean, it's a sign of Vegas coming back. As we know, June 1st is sort of the date they're looking to for the next set of openings. So we could see pretty widespread 100% capacity by then. But yeah, Vegas is back, right?
Yeah, it's good to see, and I'm surprised they got to that high of a level that quickly. Cosmo, we talked about a couple weeks back, was offering the incentives for people once they got to certain levels, they'd get cash payouts. Hopefully they can get to 100% for that huge cash payout. Unlikely, because to get everybody to do anything is always difficult in this world, but good to see plexiglass coming down. If you were going to Caesars anyway, they never had it. That was just their thinking, was it was better to have airflow versus the plexiglass, but I know that kind of hinders the gaming and hinders the camaraderie that you have at the tables. So I think people will be looking forward to that and checking it out once everything's down and open back up. So good to see.
And the weekends have been getting so busy that this will help the casinos operate better. Let them have enough seats at the tables, let them have all their slot machines turned on. So there is really an operational reason that this helps. During the week, things are still slow enough that it's not going to make a huge difference. The casinos aren't so busy, but on the weekends, every seat sometimes is needed. And like you said, it's great that they were able to get their vaccination rates up so quickly. Neither place required their employees to vaccinate. They encouraged them, they incentivized them, and it seems to have worked, and that's great. It's not a surprise given that both of these are high-end properties with some of the nicest casinos in town. It'll take a while, I think, for some of the other places to catch up, but just the pictures of seeing the plexiglass coming down, what that means for the city, how far all of these companies and the state has worked to try to get back here and try to bring this industry, which is so important in Nevada, so important to Las Vegas, back. The tourism, it's the lifeblood of the city. It's really important, and yeah, it's really good to see them doing that, leading the way. More to come, I'm sure. We're going to see plenty of pictures of plexiglass coming down, 100% capacity. There's going to be all kinds of news for the next few weeks as we get closer to June 1st. And speaking of Virgin hotels, which we talked about a little bit earlier, I wanted to share something I found. I think it was on Instagram. I found an ad. They're starting to run promotions for credit that you can get. They just did an interview. I read that they're at about 30% capacity midweek and 70 to 80% on the weekends. So they are trailing a little bit behind their competition, which we expect that the strip casinos are doing a little bit better than 30% during the week, and they're getting closer to 90 to 100% on the weekends. So they're lagging behind, but they're giving a $50 resort credit. I found works even on one night stays. The rates are still midweek, like 105 is the cheapest, 113. I think I'm going to stay there later this month. The pool opens May 21st, so I'm planning to stay right after that so I can hopefully review the property with the pool and see how it's come since then. But yeah, I mean, Virgin Hotels not doing as great as people may have expected, but rates are cheap, some deals maybe to be had, and I'm looking forward to staying there, giving them another chance to see how they've been able to get their stuff together over the course of the first couple of months.
Yeah, and I noticed an ad for locals as well. Like they're trying to entice locals to come in, like a staycation type of thing. Which once the pool opens, that might work. But the fact that they're already going to those levels with these rebates and inviting locals to the hotel, just a few weeks after opening, is pretty shocking and kind of sad. You would think that they would be above everybody else because it's new. When people come into town, they want to check out something new. So, Resorts World is not going to have 30% during the week, I don't think, and they're going to be 100% every weekend, I'm pretty sure. So, just this rollout, it's been rough. Hopefully, when you stay, things are run a little bit smoother. There was some big Hilton offers dropped today, biggest we've ever seen. We did a post on the website about it, as well as breakdown of where you can stay for how long. So some of these offers you could actually stay at the Virgin for like 2 weeks for free with the prices that they have right now. So check that stuff out if you're interested in it. If you have a long vacation, there's a way to get it discounted if you're not getting any comps anywhere. But yeah, so I guess that's the silver lining, that you can get it cheap if you want to check it out.
Yeah, and it does seem like we've talked about the rooms, we've talked about all the issues, but it seems like a fairly decent quality room, even if you don't agree with the sparseness or the furniture. Like the bed should be comfortable, should be clean, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, look at social media, look at Facebook, look at Instagram if you're looking for deals, because sometimes you will see those targeted things. And yeah, I can't wait to show people that. I feel like conventions will be better for Virgin Hotels being on Paradise. It's a big convention hotel, so hopefully they will get inroads in the market. We don't hate on them. I know that we've said lots of bad things about them. We want this property to be great, and hopefully it grows into that. And totally willing to give them a chance to do that. So really excited to stay there. And it's going to cost. I'll get a $50 resort credit, and I'll pay like $105 for the room, no resort fees. So that'll be actually a pretty decent deal, I'd say, for when I stay later this month, midweek. So if you're going to be in Vegas, try it out for a night. If you can get the $50 credit, and they don't have a minimum stay, which is really nice with that. And another thing I wanted to talk about was comps. I don't know if you've checked your accounts, but I almost never get comps, or I should say, I pretty much never get comps from MLife. As a local, they just don't give me free rooms. They have given me free play. Again, I don't really gamble, but very much. But I checked my accounts just yesterday, and I had as good as a free night at Vidara, or 4 free nights at Excalibur, 3 free nights at Luxor, 2 nights at some of their mid-tier properties. So if you haven't checked your comps in a while with MLife, check again. Maybe they just recalculated them. I haven't stayed at one of their properties, I think, since February. Surprised to see this, but excited. I'm probably going to use mine on Vidara to review it for the channel. Why not?
Yeah, I did check it after you said you had noticed things, and I never really gamble at MLife, MGM. I'm usually Caesars when I'm in Vegas. Occasionally in Detroit, I'll go to the MGM in Detroit, which I think is the nicest of the casinos in the Detroit area. So I'll check that out. So I looked, and I was getting free nights pretty much anywhere except for Bellagio. Even at Vidara and Aria, 4 nights at the Park type of place, Excalibur, Luxor. 3 nights at other places like Nomad and everything like that. So definitely want to use those now. My Caesars comps, even though I gambled pretty decently when I was there last time, are like basically nothing, which doesn't make any sense to me. I usually always get a free room through Caesars at pretty much any property I want to go to. So I don't know what's going on there. We've talked about how Caesars has been getting cheaper and cheaper with their drinks and everything else. So maybe it's just coming to comps as well. So I'm thinking about making the switch to MLife, especially with these, trying them out. I even pushed it out to like September, October, November. Pretty much anytime, Monday through Thursday or Sunday through Thursday, I was getting comp offers. Friday and Saturday, reduced rate offers. Occasionally, there'd be like a Friday night free depending on the weekend. So definitely check it out. Like I said, I haven't put any gambling in at MGM in a long time. So I think they're just giving it to everybody right now.
Well, thanks for making me feel special, Mark. But seriously, there's so much talk in the media about how busy Vegas is and how bookings are crazy. And all of the gaming companies, as they've done their earnings reports, have talked up how future bookings are. But the truth is that they're still at less than 50% capacity midweek. And that's not going to change through the end of this year, most likely. And so there's still going to be comp offers, still going to be good deals to be had midweek here, too. And so that's where I would be looking at if I wanted to look for the greatest value in a trip to Vegas, is to avoid the weekends, because Caesars said just this in the last couple of days that their properties are pretty much sold out on the weekends into the foreseeable future. Now, was that true? I don't know, because if I go to their website, I can book every one of their properties for the weekends at higher rates, but it's not astronomically high rates. So I don't know if they're just sort of talking about that, but clearly, I mean, if you have Caesars Diamond through Founders Card or through the Wyndham Match, I'm still seeing $10 rooms at a lot of their properties midweek, $20 at Paris, Planet Hollywood. So there's still lots of deals to be had there. Rates still aren't that high anywhere else midweek either. So keep that in mind, even as Vegas gets busier and all of these gaming companies work with the media to get the message out, Vegas is back. There's still lots of opportunity for value, I think, in between everything else.
Yeah, midweek's always a good, if you can work it into your schedule, work schedule and everything. Midweek's where to go, when to go. Cheap rooms, less people to deal with, more space on the gaming floor, easier to get into restaurants, all that stuff. So midweek in Vegas is where it's at right now.
Yeah,
if you want to avoid crowds, I should say.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a little, I have mixed feelings about this new Vegas we're going back into, where we're going to be busy again, where the weekends are already like that. I'm sort of missing the quiet Vegas. I mean, it was very different and it had its drawbacks for sure, but it's sort of an era that we'll never probably see again, and one that I have some fond memories of, just sort of being the only one on the strip, kind of looking out and not seeing anybody else, and being able to experience it in that way. And I'm not a huge fan of the crowds when you're walking outside when it's hot in the summertime. In ways, the Vegas that we're losing, the COVID Vegas.
Just use the flyers, the girl flyers for your fan. You can walk around like that.
Yeah, exactly. Another big piece of news that came this week or recently is that Caesars closed on William Hill Sportsbook. That wasn't this week, but that was recently. And now we're learning that they are going to get rid of the William Hill name for the most part. In some states, they may have to keep the name. But we've seen, of course, Circa launch their Circa Sports brand. Bet MGM is huge now. And Caesars is basically just taking a play out of their playbook. It's going to be Bet Caesars or the Caesars Bet app or something like that. We don't know the name. But the whole business is going to be rebranded to Caesars.
It makes a lot of sense from a business perspective. You want everything to be branded to the same. You don't want to be William Hill at Caesars type of thing. It confuses people, especially people that are in other states where sports betting is legalized, like a Michigan or like New Jersey, stuff like that. You want that Caesars name everywhere. So when they come to Vegas, they think, oh, Caesars, Caesars. And you can put them into your loyalty program and stuff, and they can earn comps by playing on their apps and everything. So this makes a lot of sense. I was surprised in the article that you sent to me before the show that they were encouraged by BetMGM's rollout in Michigan. It became the second biggest in the state of Michigan and hugely popular here. I think the BetMGM app is complete garbage. It's trash. It's probably my least favorite of the apps, and I've tried at least 10 of them, just because it's so clunky. I run into issues all the time, glitches. Half the time the games won't open that I want to open. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, user error or whatever. My phone. I don't know.
It's that commercial, man. They got the best commercial with
they got Jamie Foxx
walking on the Bellagio fountain water. Yeah. I mean, come on. That's all.
They have great branding, and MGM's a name that people know. William Hill's here, but people don't associate that with Caesars. DraftKings is another big name. That's the one I use the most here. FanDuel, of course, but those are more, the fantasy sports type of thing. So MGM's the only really big casino name. So I think that's why people are drawn to it. So if you brought a Caesars in, I do think that you could steal some of MGM's thunder for sure. And if the app works semi-okay, it'll be a vast improvement.
Yeah, you make a great point. William Hill has tons of locations, not just in the U.S., but abroad and smaller casinos. And so just to put the Caesars brand out there and to have it in all of these places it's a much more enduring brand than William Hill. So I think that it's the right choice. I think it's probably an obvious choice for them. And they also said that they felt like the company wasn't investing enough in expansion, and
they didn't like that they were actually making a profit.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, that's how it was written. They're like they're operationally profitable, so they're not spending enough in growth and investment and stuff. So Caesar said, "We're going to make it unprofitable right away."
Caesar's, which has to file bankruptcy every few years. Hey, they're not spending enough money. Let's just dip into that well again. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. Like, hey, they actually ran the business properly, the way you're supposed to make money. But I understand wanting to grow, and when you are going for growth, usually that comes at a cost, even profitability. But it just shows you how poorly managed Caesars is, that they would look at something that's profitable, and their whole other, all their other casinos and stuff are not profitable right now. And they want to take that and turn it into something not profitable, just like the rest of it, to try to grow. But we'll see how it works out, if it plays in their favor. I don't know. It just is funny. Maybe they'll end up cutting back on the app somehow, like they do with the drink service and everything else. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll be tuning in to see exactly what happens with that and let you guys know. The last stories are just several pop-up bars or interesting things we saw regarding bars. First off, we talked about the Raiders Tavern at M Resort. The Golden Knights are going to get their own version, basically for the playoffs, a pop-up tavern at Red Rock Resorts, where you're going to enter through a Golden Knights helmet, walk down an ice hallway. So it's heavily themed to the Knights, who are doing very well this season and going into the playoffs pretty strong. So are you excited about that? Would you go to that if you were in town, or you just hate the Knights so much that you're not going to do it?
I guess Vegas just really loves the Knights, because it seems like everything's focused on the Knights. But I've never been to Red Rocks. I've always wanted to go out there. It's just such a commitment to get out there if you're going to Vegas. Usually my Vegas trips are just for the weekend, so I've never, put the time in to get out there. It sounds like it'd be really cool if you're a big Knights fan and you're a local. I would definitely go out there if I lived there to check it out. As far as a tourist, probably not, but I do need to get out there at some point, because it looks like a beautiful property every time I've looked at it. Just never been able to make it out there.
Yeah, downtown Summerlin is really interesting now. Red Rock has been there for a while, but then they've built the Las Vegas Ballpark, which is our minor league ballpark, right next to there. And then you have downtown Summerlin, which is a huge outdoor shopping area and dining area. So that whole area is just turned into something really cool. And I'll have to get over there and do a video at some point to show people. Another bit of bar-related news, Brewdog. They had announced this a couple months ago, but then this week they said they finally signed their lease on this property. It's on the Strip near the Showcase Mall, where there's a new Target, kind of out in front of MGM, across from Park MGM. What's interesting about Brewdog? What makes them different? I know that they're from, is it from Ireland or the UK?
I've never actually been to a Brewdog, so I don't. I don't know. The renderings look amazing. Rooftop, like garden patio type of vibe, which is really cool. I always like a bar like that, overlooking the Strip. It'll be amazing at night. I think it'll be really popular, similar to the Circa Legacy Club, but this looks at a much grander scale, and you're going to have better views than you get from Circa, because Circa is all the way downtown. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I don't know anything about their beer or anything in that realm, but I'm assuming it's pretty good.
They have a pool though, right?
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna have a pool too, which seems really unique. But I think Topgolf has a pool too, so they're not the first ones to do it. They have a bar with a pool. I still don't know how that technically works. It seems weird to me. Like, if I'm going to go to the pool, I'll just go to the hotel pool, but maybe they keep it open later, and that's the draw, like a nighttime type of vibe pool. I don't know, but I'll definitely want to check it out for sure when it opens.
What I like about this, though, is that it's rooftop. We don't have a ton of rooftop stuff, or at least rooftop stuff with good views. And I think that hopefully we see more of this. It's really a good location. Should be some interesting views of the Strip that you can't get from elsewhere. And it looks pretty cool. So we'll put link in the show notes to that. The last story we have, our beloved Ellis Island. I know you love to talk about it all the time on the show. They announced this week that they are going to have a pop-up tiki bar sponsored by Bacardi. I didn't see that how long it's going to last, but it looks.
It was. I saw it was through June. It starts, I think, like June 3rd, something like that, and it goes to July July 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
So about a month. I think June 3rd to July 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. But it sounds awesome. I didn't even know there was like a second floor in the front yard. I've never looked up, I guess. So good use of the space because I didn't even know it was there. I'm not sure if there was anything up there before, but I definitely want to check it out. And I'm very excited that it's going to be available at the time that I'll be there to check out Resorts World. So I know what I'm doing one of the nights. Heading over to my favorite Ellis Island and checking out the Tiki Bar. I got to see it for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I had forgotten you're going to be here for Resorts World, so the timing will work for you because I knew that this was right up your alley. You know, tiki drinks, Ellis Island. I mean, what it doesn't get much more Vegas or better than that. And I'm looking
Yeah, and
forward to it too.
I'm hoping it's as cheap as their beer because you can get their draft beer for like $2-3. So if the Bacardi drinks and Tiki drinks are $5 or $6, that'll be amazing for Vegas for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. They are going to serve the same menu that they serve in the regular restaurant too. So that just means that you can enjoy your tiki drinks, get the same Ellis Island food, and we really do like that place. So I have to do a more in-depth video there at some point. I did do a video on the Cromwell video on the channel. If you look at it, there's some footage of Ellis Island and a quick walk through the casino. But that place is cool, and they seem to be doing neat things. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see that place thriving, and that seems to be happening there. So yeah, new bar concepts, new app names, lots of interesting things coming. But the big news, the 100% capacity, Vegas entertainment coming back, all kinds of cool stuff. It's fun. I mean, we've been doing this show for a while now, and it's good to have this good, positive news to cover for everybody.
Yeah, and I will give a quick update on the boobies news from last from last week. I had one of the YouTube viewers reach out to me and give me an update. They had just gone to one of the clubs and checked it out, and it was pretty much business as usual back in the day. Like they gave you the speech when you walked in, but as soon as you sat down, it was kind of like, hey, free reign, have a good time. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you can kind of expect. So thought I'd update everybody.
Well, thank you for that update, and thank you for this awesome show, and we will see everybody next week. Thanks so much for watching.
See you next week.